What is EC2 in AWS? EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. So we use EC2 to create a virtual machines in AWS cloud. So instead of purchasing the computers on our own, we will take those computers for rent from AWS. So these EC2 instances are resizable. So suppose I created an EC2 with 1 GB RAM and later we can change the size which is resizable. So EC2 is a regional service. So EC2 minimum billing period is 1 hour. If EC2 instance is in running state, then for every 1 hour, AWS will generate a bill. So suppose I started one instance at 10 a.m. and I stopped it at 10:15 a.m. Okay. So here duration is 15 minutes. So even though we ran the machine for 15 minutes, AWS will consider it as 1 hour. So bill will be generated. Okay. So if I start the same instance at 10:30 and if I stopped at 10:45, then here also AWS will consider it as 1 hour and bill will be generated accordingly. So here we can say that EC2 is a paid service. So when we create a EC2 instance, so first we have to select the AMI. So here AMI is nothing but Amazon Machine Image. So it represents the what type of machine and OS do we need. So do we need to launch the Windows machine, or do we need to launch the Linux machine, or do we need to launch the Mac OS machine? So we can select the type of configuration using this AMI. Okay. So here I will go to the EC2 service. So this is the EC2 service. I will click on the EC2. So I will click on the launch instance. Okay. So here this is the AMI. So if you want to launch the Windows machine, then we have to select this template. So if you want to launch the Linux machine, we want to select this template. Okay. So in the same way, if you want to launch the Mac OS, then we have to select this template. Okay. So this is nothing but an AMI in EC2. So next, AWS has provided EC2 instance free for 1 year for T2.micro instance types. So if you go to EC2 service, so we have an T2.micro. See, this is a T2.micro. It is free tier eligible. That means it is free for 1 year. So after 1 year, bill will be generated. Okay. So we have another instance types. That is, we have T2.micro, we have T2.small, large. Okay. So these are not free tier eligible. These are paid instances. Okay. So if you select any one of these instances, then bill will be generated. So if you do not want the bill to be generated for 1 year, then we have to select the T2.micro. So it is free for 1 year. Okay. So for every month, AWS is providing 750 hours for free. Okay. So if you run the EC2 instance for 24/7 and 365 days, then also bill will not be generated. So after 1 year, bill will be generated for T2.micro instance types. Okay. So this is all about instance types. And next we have a Keypair. So for every EC2 instance, we are going to attach one Keypair. So it is used to secure our machines. So with the help of this Keypair, we will lock or unlock our machines. So one Keypair can be attached to the multiple instances. Okay. So I have one Keypair. So that can be attached to the Linux machine, and the same Keypair can be attached to the Windows machines as well. So this Keypair contains both public and private key. So private key will be given to us and public key will be available with the AWS. So when we are logging to the machines, so AWS will compare if both the public and private key are same. So if both the keys are same, then we can able to log into our machines. Okay. So so in Keypairs we have two formats. So one is PEM file and another is PPK, that is putty private key file. So when we are working with putty tool, we can go for PPK file, or else we can make use of PEM file to connect to our machines. Okay. So now I will create one Keypair. So in order to create a Keypair, so we have to click on this link button. Okay. So here I will create one Keypair. So here we have two formats. One is PEM file and another one is PPK. So here I am selecting the PEM file. Okay. And now I will click on create Keypair button. See here one file is downloaded. This is a private key file. Okay. This file contains the private key. So with the help of this file, we can able to connect to our machines. Okay. So there is another way to create a Keypair. So we have to go to the network and security tab. So inside the EC2, we have network and security tab. So inside this, we have a Keypairs. Okay. So here with the help of this create button, we can create a Keypair. Okay. So I have created one Keypair. So now I will create another Keypair. So here I will name it as Windows 2. I will select the file as PEM file. I will create a Keypair. Okay. So when we create a Keypair, one file will be downloaded. That is a PEM file. Okay. So it contains the private key. So with the help of these keys only, we can able to connect to our machines. Okay. So this is all about Keypair. So next, for EC2 instances, AWS will provide the default VPC. So with the help of this VPC, we can provide the network to our machines. Okay. So if you go to the EC2, so I will go to the EC2. So under Keypair, so we have a network settings. Okay. So this is the network setting and this is the default VPC. So this will provide the network to this EC2 instances. Okay. So next, security groups. So here we can configure which incoming traffic should be allowed and which outgoing traffic should be allowed for a machine. So security group contains both inbound and outbound rules. So for Windows, we have to enable security group as RDP and protocol is 3389. And for Linux, we have to enable SSH security group and protocol is 22. So in order to create a security group, we have to go to the network and security section. So inside this, we have a security group. Okay. So here I will click on create security group. So here I will provide a name Windows group. So here we have inbound rules. So with the help of this, we can configure the incoming traffic for a machine. Okay. So if you are using a Windows machine, then we have to use RDP security group. Okay. So port will be 3389. So if you are using a Linux machine, then we have to use SSH security group. Okay. So port number will be 22. Okay. So as of now, I will select the RDP as a security group. So here I will configure the IP. Then I will click on this security group. The security group is created. Okay. So here I have created one security group and two key pairs. Okay. So I have created in Mumbai region. So now I will go to the dashboard. Okay. So here we have two key pairs and 8 security groups. Okay. So now I will go to different region. So I will go to California region. See here key pairs equal to 0 and security group equal to 1. So whereas in Mumbai we have two key pairs and 8 security groups. Okay. So here we can say that both security group and key pairs are regional specific. Okay. So if you see key pairs equal to 2 and security group equal to 8, that is in Mumbai region. Whereas in California we have key pairs equal to 0 and security group equal to 1. Okay. So here key pairs and security groups are regional specific. Okay. See here key pairs and security groups are regional specific. So next, when we create an EC2 instance, AWS will provide the default storage using EBS. So EBS is just like hard disk or SSD. So EBS maximum size provided by AWS is 16 TB, which is 16,000 GB. Okay. So here when we launch a Windows machine, then AWS will provide 30 GB for free of cost. And if you want more than 30 GB, then charges are applicable. So same for Linux. If you go for Linux machine, 8 GB will be free of cost. If you want more than 8 GB, then charges are applicable. Okay, so this is the default EBC for Windows machine and Linux machines. Okay, so here I will go to EC2 service. So I will click on launch instances. Okay, so suppose here I will select a Windows machine. Okay, so if I select the Windows machine, then here default EBS will be 30 GB. See here storage is 30 GB. Okay, because I have selected the Windows machine. So if I go for Linux machine, default EBS will be 8 GB. Okay, see here 8 GB is provided because it is a Linux machine. So now I will try to create one EC2 instance and then I will log into this EC2 instance from my local laptop. Okay, so first I will click on the launch instance. So here I will give a name for the EC2 machine and here I will select the template. Here I am selecting the Windows. Okay, and now I will select the instance type as t2.micro because it is FreeTier eligible. So here I will select the key pairs. Okay, so I will select the Windows 1 key pair. So here we use key pairs to log into a machine and this is the default VPC. So this VPC will provide the network to this machine. So since we are selecting the Windows, so we will get the protocol as RDP protocol. Okay, so this is a security group. So if we make use of Linux, then we will get the SSH security group. Okay, See, here we are getting the 30 GB free of cost because we are launching the Windows machine. Okay. So for Linux, we will get the 8 GB. Okay. And next here we have to provide the number of instances. Okay. So do you want to create 2 machines? Do you want to create 3 machines? Do you want to create 50 machines? That we can specify here. Okay. So here as of now, I am giving 1. So now I will click on the launch instance. Okay. So I will go to the instance. So now I will connect to this instance. Okay. So in order to connect to this machine, so first it should be in running state. Okay. So this instance state is in pending. So once this is running state, I will connect to this machine from my local laptop. So here, if you want to connect to one Windows machine from another Windows machine, then we have to make use of RDP. Okay. So here RDP is nothing but remote desktop connection. So here I will check if it is in running state or not. Yes, instance is in running state. So now I will open RDP, that is remote desktop connection. Okay. So this is the remote desktop connection. I will open this. Okay. So here I need to provide the IP address. So this is the public IP address I will provide. Okay. So here I will provide the public IP, and now I will click on this connect button. So now here it is asking for username and password. Okay. So in order to get a username and password for this machine, we have to click on this connect button. Okay. So we have to go to the RDP client. So here this is the username. Okay. So I will provide the username, and then we should get the password. Okay. So in order to get the password, we have to click on this get password button. Okay. And here we have to upload a private key. Okay. So at the time of creating this EC2 instance, we have attached this Windows 1 private key. Okay. So we have to upload this same Windows 1 private key. So now I will try to upload that Windows 1 private key. Okay. So here I will select this file and I will decrypt the password. Okay. So now we got this password. So now I will copy this password and I will use it to connect to the machine. So here I will provide the password and I will click on OK. So now we are connecting to AWS machine from my local laptop. Okay. See, see here this is the AWS machine. Okay. So we are connecting to this AWS machine from the local laptop using the RDP client. Okay. So here I will go to the PC. See here we are getting the 30 GB free of cost for the Windows machine. Okay. So for Linux we will get the 8 GB. So now I will close this machine. So now I will try to connect to the machine once again. Okay. So I will go to the instances. So this is the IP. Okay. So I will connect it. So here I will provide the IP. Okay. And I will click on connect. So here I will click on connect to get the password. Okay. So username is administrator. Okay. And I will get the password. Okay. So here we have attached the Keypair as Windows 1, right? See here we have attached the Windows 1 Keypair. Now I will try to upload a different Keypair. Okay. So here I will select a different one. So when we click on this decrypt password, we will get one error. Okay. See, there was an error decrypting your password. Please make sure that you have entered a private key correctly. Okay. So here we are given a ROM PEM file. So that is the reason we are getting this error. Okay. So now I will try to upload a correct one. Here I will try to decrypt the password. See, now we are getting the password. Okay. So we are given the proper file. Okay. So if you are giving a different file, then we are getting the error. Okay. So here with the help of this key pair, we can able to connect to the machines. Okay. So if we give a different key pair, then it will not allow to connect to a machine. Okay. So now here I will create one Linux machine. Okay. So first I will terminate this instance. So now I will create one Linux machine. So here I will give Linux VM. I will select the Linux. So instance will be T2 micro. So here I am selecting the Keypair as Windows 1. So we can attach the same Keypair to Windows machine as well as the Linux machine. Okay. So now I am attaching the same Keypair to the Linux also. Okay. So this is a default VPC. And here the security group is SSH. Okay. That is because we are using the Linux machine. So if you go for Windows, it will get the RDP. Okay. So default storage that we will get is 8 GB. So for Windows, we will get the 30 GB. Okay. So now I will click on the launch instance. So once this is in running state, I will connect to this machine. Okay. So this is a Linux machine. Okay. So if you want to connect to the Linux machine from Windows machine, then we have to make use of either PuTTY or MOBA Xterm. Okay. So we have a tool called MOBA Xterm. With the help of that, we can able to connect to this Linux machine from our Windows machine. Okay. So first we have to download this MOBA Xterm software. Okay. So here we have to go to Google and I will download the MOBA Xterm. Okay. So when we click on this button, so one zip file will be downloaded. So I will go to that zip file and I will extract the files. Okay. So this is the application. Okay. This is the MOBA Xterm using which we will connect to the Linux machine from our Windows machine. So it is getting open. See. Now I will go to the EC2. Yeah, this is in running state. Okay. So now I will use this IP address. I will go to that MOBA Xterm. So here I will click on the session. Okay. Here I will select the SSH and I will provide the IP over here. Okay. Inside the remote host, I will provide the IP address. So here I will specify the username. So in order to get the username, I will click on the connect button. Okay. So here this is a username, EC2 user. Okay. I will provide the username EC2 user. Okay. And now I will provide the password. So in order to provide the password, I will go to this advanced SSH setting. So I will click on the use private key and I will upload the private key. Okay. So we have to upload the Windows 1 PEM file. Okay. So here I will select this Windows 1 PEM file and then I will click on OK. Accept. See, now we can able to connect to the Linux machine from the Windows using the MOBA Xterm. Okay. So now I will provide a different PEM file. Okay. So first I will go to the session. So I will click on SSH. Here I will provide the IP. So I will go to, so this is the IP. Okay. So I will give the IP and I will specify the username here. And then I will click on advanced SSH. So here I will select the PEM file. Okay. So instead of providing Windows 1, I will give a Windows 2. Okay. I will click on OK. See, are we able to connect to the machine? No, that is because we are given a different PEM file. Okay. So if you give a correct PEM file, then we can able to connect to the Linux machine. If you give a wrong PEM file, we will not able to connect to this machine. Okay. So here we can say that with the help of this Keypair, we can able to log into our Windows or Linux machine. So without the Keypair, we cannot log into our machines. Okay. So this is all about EC2 service in AWS.